What's up, guys? This is Matt from Force Fitness. Today, I want to talk to you about breathing. Why do we find breathing to be such an important part of our programming here at Force, and how do we implement it so you guys can be familiar with it moving forward? So, breathing is really the foundation of everything else we do. Okay, it's the first thing we do when we come into the world is take a big cry in, breathe out, and the key thing about breathing, or why we use it in our programming and why we focus on it in our warm-ups and our cool-down, is that most people have actually forgotten how to breathe appropriately. Okay, and by that we mean we've forgotten how to belly breathe. When we see people come in off the street, a lot of times we're up in our chest now, our mouth is open, it affects our posture and the tension in our entire body. So we want to bring people in right from the beginning and have that moment right when we start our warm-up of breathing, so we can focus on reestablishing belly breathing, which we'll talk about why that's important, and also kind of setting your intentions for that workout, using that first minute or two to really get prepared for what you're about to do, to kind of rehearse in your mind what the entire training session is going to be like, so then you can go in and tackle that. Okay, and the big thing with why do we belly breathe rather than wanting to just breathe normally up here, I think is we just lost awareness of it. We actually all came into the world as natural belly breathers, so the first 7 million breaths you take are in through the nose and into the belly. Okay, so you have a lot of repetitions there. After that, we have a little bit of leeway. We can start breathing through our mouth, we try different things, but the biggest thing, the two biggest things that I think about with belly breathing are, one, we all want to have a strong core, right? We want to have good core control. Well, the diaphragm, which sits right below the rib cage here, is this dome-shaped muscle. This paired with the transverse abdominis, which are these muscles that run underneath here, and actually your pelvic floor, all work in unison to create a really strong, stable center. That's the deep stabilizers around the spine. When we find that we're not using the diaphragm, so we're not belly breathing, we're breathing up top, we lose that stability. It's like a pyramid being inverted. Okay, the tip of the pyramid is down here, all my pressure and stability is up here. That's very weak. I can go all over the place. Okay, it's an unstable pyramid. If I'm able to activate the diaphragm when I'm breathing and get that reflexive, automatic stabilization of my core, now the pyramid's right side up. My base is here, and I can create a lot of stability out of that. So we're gonna see that affect everything else downstream in our movement. The second thing is that breathing is the keyhole. It's the one conscious thing we can do to affect our nervous system, okay? And by that, we think about fight or flight, kind of our stress response, and rest and digest, our kind of recovery response, okay? So when we're breathing up at top, this is actually an automatic response to stress. We start breathing in through these accessory muscles up in our shoulders and our neck, breathing up through our chest, and that just has all these downstream effects where we start tightening up. If you're someone who says, oh, I just carry all my stress in my neck or my shoulders, that's a natural response because you're breathing and probably using these muscles and overusing them in a way they're not really meant to be, okay? Simply by focusing on trying to reestablish that belly breathing, we turn the nervous system out of that stressed fight or flight state and can bring it back down. The same way we can go the other way. If I start hyperventilating, my heart rate's gonna go up and I'm gonna respond as if a stressful event is happening right now. So by establishing that breathing period right in the beginning, the very first thing you do when you come into Force and start working out, you're gonna not only be working on your core strength and establishing that good base, relearning that natural breathing pattern, we're gonna bring you out of potentially a stressful state that you were in coming into your workout, which also means that you can learn better. We have better motor learning when we're in a less stressed state. So usually in the beginning of your workout and your training session, we're gonna do a lot of things that require you to be really focused on your skill set, okay? Developing your skill set. So we're gonna put you in the best mindset, the best frame of mind in order to do that, okay? So, other things, if you think about what we just talked about, we use breathing at the end of the workout. Same concept. Now you just went through something that was really intense. I want to bring you back down to baseline, make sure we still have breathing. We also talk about breathing throughout the workout. If you cannot breathe through a movement, you don't own that movement. And we see a lot of people, as soon as they start planking or doing any kind of movement, they start holding their breath, okay? And that's one of the cues you hear shouted around the gym the most is breathe, breathe. If we can establish that breathing through that movement, you're gonna own that movement, you're gonna have better core control, better posture throughout, and you're not gonna feel yourself tighten up or really kind of have that natural tightness afterwards. And we use it in our mobility. If you can't breathe in a mobility movement, it's not gonna loosen up. We use it in our strength, because if you can't establish a proper breathing pattern in a strength movement, you're gonna be weaker. Okay, so breathing is really foundational to everything else we do. We think it's worth taking some time at the beginning, at the end, to really focus on it and make it a part of your practice, and then to be aware of it through all the steps throughout your training session so you get the best results. I hope that makes sense. Let me know if you have any questions, and we'll see you next time.